here it really gives you a general idea of what we have been doing and where we are now and where we are heading. So most important, I want to show you here is really the 4 groups. Blacksburg, that's Anton. 5 years ago, when we got the first grant from APHIS, come to my lab, and I said, we are in Virginia Beach, about 40 miles from Williamsburg. We do not have a disease in our area. By then, only disease spot is really in Carroll County, that's southwest Virginia. So it would be safer to do the project in Blacksburg. Another reason is because APHIS did not approve all the budget we asked for. So we need to, try to do more with less. So from Blacksburg to that location in Carroll County, take an hour. From my place, take 7 or 8. I have to go to Raleigh, North Carolina, and that's an overnight trip. So it's a much product have done over there. So I started looking for people to work with. I talked to Anton. He was the first person to talk to. He was very willing to help out. That's why we had the first postdoc working in his lab. So you saw there are 2 mulching talk today, not over duplicate, not competing. We work together, all done by purpose. And you will see that. So actually, this set of experiment, it's not done in Virginia Beach. It is done near Richmond. So it's about 20 miles from where Michael Likens is. He's the extension agent. He was a state pathologist in Virginia for 10 years. He's a really true pathologist. Love pathology. So he's a very busy man as well. So when he's busy, I had a ping pong fill in, and actually all I did is really talk. So this is Mike, this is Ping, and this is Bobby. The owner of the property, 6 acres. Do you know how many boxes they have? More than 400. Apparently, this research is not going to be possible without support from APHIS, also without support from Saunders. All the detect plans we used from Saunders. Thank you. So that's a property. As I said, they have more than 400 boxes already on the property. When you're a boxwood lover, never enough. Right? So what happened is, April 2015, Bobby's husband bought a dozen of English boxwood from a store. Put on the side by the fence. After a few months, when they come back from vacation, all the established boxwood got infected. It's a very sad story. So we were there September 1st, when we were looking for a place to do this project. We went back again on the October 6th to evaluate individual bushes to see what's the severity of the disease. Then we choose individual bushes for the trial. We want to make sure we start equal for both treatments. Why mulching? I hope you never need it. But for the place like this property in Richmond, when you do have an accident happen, you have a disease, you do not and you will not give up boxwood. How to deal with the disease? Here's the way. Why mulch is going to be effective? We did not invent mulch. The nursery people did, the landscape people did. So, in 2012, 13, a group in Belgium, they already evaluate not for mitigation purpose. They actually use mulch as a study tool to evaluate the disposals or the past disposals. So we thought, well, if they can use that as an evaluation tool, study tool, why not we develop into a mitigation tool? We had confidence. We had hypothesis. Number one is because the past produced cornelia, which is really sticky. Because it's sticky, it's stuck together. So airborne make it very unlikely. Second, the pathogens really attack the foliage. Norm, he's not here yet. He did some research to inoculate the roots with a pathogen. We did see infection, but we never see natural infection of the roots. So all these three things pointed to the possibility or supported the hypothesis. Mulching is going to be an effective tool for disease mitigation. To test the hypothesis, here is what we did. So you had foliage affected, cut them down. Let the stump to regrow. So on the right side here, as you can see, that's a close-up. Tons of fallen leaves on the floor with a load of pathogen. So if you do not cover the floor, the pathogen is going to go up to the new growth right away. That's where the mulch is come to play to prevent the pathogen from the soil surface to the new growth. Some of the bushes, not as big. So between the bushes, the space was limited. So that's why we have additional barrier to prevent cross-contaminations. Plants that detect plants put on the side for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, here is Michael. He really did all the hard work. So we moved the plants that detect from the test plot to a wire-fenced area, kind of try to prevent interference from animals and everything else. We call it the quarantine area on the same property. So then we evaluate the disease when we take it out 2 weeks later. When you look at the disease, apparently we look at symptoms first. Sometimes the symptom does not really show as clear. So we take a sample to the lab and look under the microscope. If still not clear, we put it in the moist bag, let it grow, or let the pathogen grow. Then we look at it again. Because Mike, he's an extension agent, he's really a practical guy. He want to have a scale as easy as possible. He said, if you get too complicated, who is going to count the leaves? So that's why we have a 0 to 10 scale. If 1 to 10% of leaves affected, it's scale 1. If it's 91 to 100%, that's a 10. We all know by now that disease development really depends on the weather. So that's why we were prepared to see the unexpected. That's why we monitor the weather condition 24/7. So here again, my colleague Tom put up the weather station. Mike is downloading the weather data to his laptop every 2 weeks. This table basically summarizes what we saw, what we did. So in 2016, we did 2-week spading for 14 times. That's when the plant will put in, when the plant will take out. If it's a plus, means we saw Boxwood Blight. If it's a minus, means we did not see any of the detected plants. So overall here, as you can see, most of the monitoring period was positive. So that means we saw the disease. 11 of the 14. In 2017, we did more, also with more plants. Here in 2016, we did 1 plant per plot. We have 5 replicates, 2 treatments. So that means we did 10 plants per each time. In 2017, we did 3 plants per plot. Still 5 replicates, 2 treatments. That means 30 plants each time. So as you can see here, most of the monitoring period is really negative. We did not see Boxwood Blight on the detected plants. Total is 16, only 3 of the 16. So here, on the left side, it's 11 of the 14. This chart shows you the difference between 2 years. The black one means we had a disease, Boxwood Blight, and the white one means we did not see it. What caused the difference? We look at the weather data, did some summary. Did you see the difference between the two? Here we go. If you look at the rainfall and precipitation, 2016 was almost twice as much as 2017. The leaf wetness was 1,250. That's 50% more than 2017. The wetness really made a huge difference. That's what you're really interested. Again, look at the positive monitoring period, 11 of the 14 in 2016. So 5 of those 11 monitoring period, we only see the disease from the detected plants in the non-mulched control area. That means the mulch provide complete protection. For the monitoring period, we call the good to excellent protection. So if you go by percentage, it's about 50 to 99%. Fair control means below 50%. There was one time we actually only saw the disease on the plant from the mulched area. Surprise. In 2017, as you see by the color, all 3 monitoring period, we only see the disease on the plant from non-mulched area, the control area. Here, the complication factors. So on that 6-acre property, Bobby has 2 dogs, free moving. So they really could carry the pathogen wherever they go. The property is in a rural area with a lot of trees, so a lot of birds. They also have deers visit the site on a daily basis. That's really captured by a game cam. We install that to monitor how the deer move. Of course, there are bugs. They could spread the pathogen from the diseased plant to the detected plant in the mulched area. So from the background, from the results, here are 3 keys to really max the benefit of performance of mulching treatment. Number 1, if there is a garden you deal with, had a disease, and you want to help the owner to keep the boxwood, enjoy the boxwood, you want to make sure you trim, remove all affected foliage, 100%. So only thing left, the pasture will be on the floor. Number 2, cover the floor wherever had a contamination with mulch or with other sanitation tools. Number 3, try to restrict as much as you could the access to the boxwood planting area by the animals, wild or domestic. If you look at these 3, which one is most doable? Number 1. Because you cannot control birds, you cannot really control deer, but you can control to completely remove affected foliage. Is this going to work somewhere else? Hypothetically. But we are not counting on hypothesis. We count on the data. So that's why we propose to the APHIS to do the same thing in the National Ornamental Research Station in California. That's a controlled area, actually, with all the, everything is wild over there. There are no wild animals, nothing else. So that will tell how good this technique is. And of course, California has a very different climatic condition from us. Here's some other questions we would like to get answered before really, make full recommendation to you all. Now, some of you may already have an answer. I would like to hear from you. Number 1 is how to improve the regrowth of boxwood after you heavily trim them. On the property we did a trial, if you count them, we trim about 31 boxwood. On that property, during the trial, we only see 3 of those grow back. With other property, those are really the factors affect the regrowth. The height of the stump, the size or the age of boxwood, and the thickness of the mulch, even the soil conditions. We already have some ideas about how high the stump will grow. In the trial area, the stump, because we did not know at the beginning, so we cut to 6 to 8 inches. Apparently, that was too much. Sorry. So we tried last year with the homeowner with additional diseased plant at cut them different height, 10 inches, 15, 18, all the 10 inches, we got a growth. We also had 8. We did not get any growth at 8. So that's one of the things we need to figure out before or to increase the utility of the technique. Another way we are looking to, or another thing we try to resolve is really the mulch. You all know that they degrade quickly. So we're looking at different ways. Some people come up with ideas to use rubber mulch. Never degrade. But we are thinking to look into cover crop, to cover the ground. So use a mulch and a cover crop. First year you have both. Then hopefully the cover crop, after 1 year period, they will cover entire area, and they will grow keep growing. So over time, they will get more dense in the area, better coverage. So that will really prevent the pathogen from the soil onto the regrowth. So right now, we are evaluating 3 dozens of alternatives to Pachysandria sweetbox, because those two are common associated with boxwood planting, and they are susceptible. So hopefully we will find something really can be as appealing to you, to everyone in the audience here, or everyone loves boxwood. Use that instead of Pachysandria or sweetbox. Actually, that's my last slide. I will be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
How do you handle disease trimmings?
So there are two sides to this question. Number one is apparently, when you trim between the trees or bushes, you want to really disinfect your tools, number one. Number two, for the project side, what the homeowner did is really to pile everything together, burn on the side. Of course, that's not applied to every place you will encounter. For example, in Williamsburg, 2 years ago, the disease showed up in Williamsburg, in a neighborhood, and they have to get a permit to do that, to burn the diseased material on site. So I was working with the fire department to convince them to see, that's really necessary. Otherwise, they can move things around and could spread the disease or pathogen to other neighborhood or another way, and so on and so forth. So they granted permit to the homeowner to burn on site. I hope I answered your question.
Are different types of mulches better at suppressing?
That's a very good question. We did not look into that. But the mulching idea, hypothesis really serves as a physical barrier. We do not anticipate there will be huge difference between, kinds of mulch you may use. However, they may make a difference in terms of the microbial community on the mulch if you use different mulch. So that's a possibility. And that difference in microbial community could contribute to the dying of the Boxwood Blight pathogens in the soil. Very good question. Any other questions?
One thing that's used heavily in American gardens is mulch.
Yes.
So do you believe that that's why it's not as prevalent than Europe, blight?
That's a very good thought. I think the difference is because the disease showed up probably 5 or 6 years ago. So it's because of the weather condition. Here in America, the weather condition is not as conducive to the pathogen as the European country, because actually I've looked at 2 sets of data recently. One is, of course, the data we have in Richmond, and another set is really from Belgium. So if you look at the winter data, the lower temperature here is much lower than where you are. And if you look at the summer data, so the temperature is much higher here than in England or Belgium. So this pathogen is very sensitive to the temperature. According to the study by a Belgian group and by us, Hervé, the postdoc, and so we believe it's more like because of the weather condition. And that's why I'm proposing we may not have to get where you are now because of weather condition. So we want to keep our guards on, keep the passing out. That's our best bet. We should try at least. Yes, Steve.
Could you just recap a little bit? I didn't quite get in terms of the height of pruning, the different stumps, and what was the size, the original size of the plant? Plants that you were working with, and then how much you pruned off, and what was the optimal height of cut?
Number one, I do not really have an answer, the definitive answer to your question. What we tried, in the trial area, we tried to shoot 6 inches to 8 inches. Only 3 of the 31 already grow. So we realized that's not good. So last year, we worked with the homeowner. We tried different height of stump, of course, different age of the plant as well. So she tried 4 different heights, 8 inches, 10 inches, 15, and 18. We got regrowth for every height here, 18, 15, and 10. But we did not get any regrowth at 8. That's where we are. We need to do more, and actually a group in California, she's going to work with us. She also cut plants at different heights right now. So I have not get an update from her yet. So that's something we are going to look into. That's very, very important to the utility of the technique.
One last question?
Okay, you touched on the soil biology and soil health. I mean, we look at plants, we look at the health of the plants, we look at the pathogen and stuff like that. I mean, and you also spoke of cover crops. Are you seeing is there a certain cover crop that is better than others to help out with this?
I think your question is too big for you to answer. There are some quick answers. Number one is regarding the cover crop, we are evaluating probably 30, 40 different species. We want to make sure whatever we are going to recommend is not susceptible to the pathogen. So we are doing that in the greenhouse right now. So next step is going to the field. That's one part of your question, or the answer to your question. Regarding the soil biology, we have really looked deeply into that perspective. But one thing I do, I'm ready to share with you is in the same side as you saw one of the photos, Ping and Michael, they were taking soil samples. So we try to track down the pathogen dynamics in the soil. The very exciting news here is we have tried, the first sample was January 2015. Second sample was May 2015, and the third sample was November. Then last year we did it again, May and November. As you expect, we recover most pathogen in the first sample, January 2015. We see a sharp decline of the pathogen in the soil throughout the 2016, May to November. 2017, we did recover the pathogen in May, but we were not able to see the pathogen in the soil on that side, in the sample area. I wanted to make sure I did not overspeak on this. So the pathogen we were not able to recover does not mean the pathogen is not there anymore. So because each technique has its limit of sensitivity, so we are looking into other ways to detect the pathogen or to analyze the soil right now.